Hello there, it's me again. Once again, it's one of my ones from a weird angle because I'm doing something a bit different today because I've not picked up anything because I've been too busy doing stuff like Christmas shopping. But what else have I been up to? I've done Christmas shopping, I've been out for a couple of nights out for work and people leaving, and I've had my first drinks out for about a year, I think, and I've rather enjoyed it. I've rather enjoyed drinking alcohol again, so I might do it a bit more. Um, and other than that, today, my Christmas present to myself has turned up. So I've decided today is Christmas Day, and I've had it. And I've bought myself a 3D printer, and it's currently doing a test print to see how it works and make sure it does work, so I don't have to send it back. So while it's doing that, I thought I'd take the time, even though it's not been completely finished, to show you a bit of a little tour around the game space in the garage. So without further ado, I'll flip the camera around and we'll get started. So I'll start off from the bit that's really not done at all, and this is all of Hannah's Disney collection with a load of stuff down there as well that she's in the middle of sorting out. But then if we come around this way, we've got, again, Hannah's Stranger Things stuff, including the custom shoes that I got her a few years ago for her birthday, which are rather cool. Then we move on to her Care Bears and My Little Ponies, and there's a Zippy there as well. More Care Bears, more Care Bears, Care Bears. Then we get to some of my stuff at last. So we've got some of my Jurassic Park stuff, some of my South Park stuff, and also Nighttime Peter and Lois, which is the only Family Guy merch I think I've ever bought. Then we get into my 80s movies for a little bit, before going into more Hannah stuff, which that's just some real random stuff. Even more random Hannah stuff, more random oh no, that's my Yellow Submarine and my Flintstones. Then Hannah's Titanic stuff, Harry Potter, Jaws, more random stuff. Then we get to a few of the VHSs around here, but they're not the ones that I'm really that interested in watching. And if we come around here, we've got some more VHSs. We've got the Good Life there. Obviously, there's my Atari. Then we get the gaming books, which there's a few of them that I've got from Kickstarter that I really like. Then up top, we've got a load of boxes, including all three of the Atari boxes and the ZX Spectrum box. Then if we come around here a bit further, we've got the Menacer at the back there, Sega Saturn Wheel, DJ Hero, and we've got my games for the Atari that was down below. Then we've got more boxes and more boxes and more boxes for stuff like the mini consoles and like my controller for my phone. More of Hannah's peripherals down here, including the Tony Hawk's skateboard for some game or other, and her Dancing Stage Mario mix for the GameCube there. I think that's for the GameCube, isn't it? Yeah, it's GameCube. So then, obviously the top of this is an absolute state, because this is a work in progress. But then we get to handheld games. So we've got the DS games. There's more consoles there. More DS stuff, more DS stuff. Then we get to my starting to grow PSP collection and UMD collection. Though this is going to have to be expanded very soon, because we're going to run out of space for it. Then back around here, Hannah's Spyro and Crash stuff. Then we move into some of my Turtle stuff. The nicer Turtle stuff is actually sitting in my bedroom right now. Then we get to the first one of my customised consoles. That was the first one that I ever did, and it's not brilliant, but I'm really quite proud of my little half-assed attempt at a steampunk PlayStation, which is fully functional as well. Then we've got the little sports game that I bought a couple of weeks ago sitting up there. And we move into Assassin's Creed stuff, including Hannah's Cassandra statue and my Valhalla goblet. And also the Assassin's Creed iced coffee that was given to us by George when we went to Timeless earlier this year. Then we get on to... I've got a lot of Nintendo tat, because I do my Nintendo rewards, so a lot of this stuff comes from there. There's another couple of my attempts at customizing consoles. My Nintendo Switch, Game Boy Color, and my banana Donkey Kong N64 controller. Then we move on to a bit more Princess Peach and Zelda, including another controller that I painted, and the Triforce on there is actually slug tape, which I thought worked pretty well at the time. Maybe not so much now. Then we go on to Baby Mama, before going to Mario Party, which is all of Hannah's Mario parties for PAL regions, and she's started collecting them in Japanese as well. Then we've got some pretty cool Mario vans that one of the children had many years ago, and I'd not seen this until Hannah bought it, but it's a paintbrush controller for playing Epic Mickey on the Wii to use instead of a nunchuck, which is rather cool. The Super Mario cereal basically is like Lucky Charms, so that's quite nice. Then we get to our Nintendogs and the Yoshi Amiibo, the giant yarn one. I think we paid about £10 for that in game because no one was buying it. Then we get the Mario steering wheel and a couple of books. Oh, and some coasters. Before we get down to the rest of the videos, including my bargain Muppet box set that I was quite happy to get hold of. More videos. There's a very 80s and 90s theme with all of these videos. There's the Spanish copy of the Flintstones, which I don't know how I ended up with a Spanish copy. I've got a German copy of Dick Tracy somewhere in here as well. And there's my big copy of 12 Monkeys that I was happy to get hold of, because I'd never seen anything like that. And then those boxes are my Nintendo Rewards posters. So let's turn around quickly again. And this is the... oh god, I'll get that out of the way. This is the shelving unit that I bought from Retro Gamer Thomas a few weeks back. So I've got one side completely full of PS2 games. The other side isn't as full, because as I've said before, I need to get on with buying more stuff to fill it. But we've got GameCube on the top shelf there. Then we move on to original Xbox. A bit of emptiness, including FIFA 06 that I just threw there when I was making the last video. And the rest of the PS2. So I need more space, more games to put into that space. But, and that's a load of Wii games and Wii U games that you just heard falling. So then we get onto the Nintendo shelf, which has got various boxes on the top. And then we get into Hannah's Wii and Wii U collection, which is just down here. I think she said the other day she's up to about 112 for the Wii U. So I think that's only about 50 or so that she needs for a full set. Then we get the N64 and SNES in the middle, although they are probably going to be moving very soon, and you'll see why in a minute. But there's the rest of the Wii stuff. Then we move on to the Sega shelf, with the Saturn, Mega Drive Mini and the Mega Drive boxes up there. We've still got the PS1 games up top here, which might be moving, might not. There's the bargain stack of PS1 demos that I bought the other week. There's my Evercade collection. I basically got up to the first 10 and then didn't buy any more, apart from Worms. Then we go on to the Mega Drive, which I've said many times is my absolute baby when it comes to the collection. I've hit 140 games for it without going over the top in terms of sports fodder, so I'm happy to have that going on. I've got one game on the way, but before I'm allowed to have it, I need to watch a movie, and I'll show you which movie I'm going to be watching to be allowed to have that. But yeah, there's a lot of decent games in here that I'm happy to have, but there's also a lot of empty space now that I've moved the Xbox 360 games. There's my small but soon to be growing Saturn collection. The same for the Dreamcast collection. And there's the childhood Master System collection, which I will one day do a video on it, but for now have a good look. That is what my childhood was. Before we move on to... It's not completely PlayStation on this shelf, I promise. Well, it's obviously not, because there's Tetris stuff. But we've got the Xbox 360 stuff along here. So, there's that. Then we've got my Xbox demos in there, because there's space. Because there's even more space that's been cleared by moving the PS2 collection. And then we get the PS3 games down at the bottom, along with a couple more boxes that I need to find space for. And then, if I can get round to here, we've got my Sony Trinitron with the VHS player on top, and also another one of my self-painted consoles. It's a bit rough, but it's unique, so I'm happy with it. There's a couple of unofficial controller podcast things up there, and also my Navigator's necklace from Monkey Island. But what have I got connected to this telly? Oh god, I should have tidied up before I did this. We've got the Mega Drive, we've got the Dreamcast with a fishing rod controller behind it, we've got the Master System, and we've got the Saturn, so I'm all set as far as Sega is concerned. Then we've got PS1 and PS2, the SNES, the N64, and the GameCube. And that is basically what the gaming space looks like. Oh, I missed out another one of my painted controllers, and the Crystal Xbox, which has got the N64 back catalogue saved on it on an emulator, which I didn't know when we bought it, but I'm happy with that. And my movie for my next game, I've got Stargate on the way, so I need to get that watched in the next day or so. So that's basically what the game space is looking like in the garage at the moment. It's rough around the edges because we're in the middle of moving stuff around, but hopefully you've had some entertainment and enjoyment and found some cool things that you like the look of from me showing you around the garage. I'll get back to some form of normality soon, but in the meantime, take care of yourselves and goodbye.